We're going to start off in India. We have a great speaker who's joining us now. We've got Moumita Chakraborty joining us. She is a conservation biologist specializing in birds and mammals. She's currently doing her PhD from Wildlife Institute in India, working to understand how anthropogenic and environmental factors control changes in red panda distribution in Sikkim. So she's associated with the ZSL Edge of Existence program as a National Geographic Photo Arc Edge Fellow. She has spent the last 3 years in Sikkim conserving red pandas through various research, education, and communication activities. I'm going to bring her in live with us right now. Hey, Moumita, how are we doing?
Hi, I'm fine, good. How are you?
I'm good. It is so great to have you joining us today. I got a little sneak peek at some of the little videos and pictures you have, and I'm so excited for you to share a little bit of
Thank
the
you
world of
so
the red
much.
panda with us today.
Thank you so much, Joy, for inviting us for the presentations. I'm really be honored to show my work to showcase this
All
platform.
right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, we've got your presentation ready to go. We'll let you take over for a little bit.
Sure, definitely. I'm starting then. Can you show this? Is it visible to the
Yep.
screen?
Yeah, it's nice and full screen. We see the red panda staring right at us.
Yeah. So yeah, okay, fine. So I'm going to start, okay?
Absolutely.
Hello, everyone. First, a little bit of myself. Already Joe introduced. My name is Moumita. I'm working on red pandas since last 3.5 years. I was associated with WI as a PhD fellow, and also I'm a Nat Geo Photo Arc Edge fellow. I'm also doing on doing the project, the independent project on red panda conservation, which is spatial prioritization for the conservation of endangered red panda in Sikkim Himalayan landscape. So I'm starting with my presentation, which is Save the Himalayan Gems, Red Panda. Before starting this, I wish you everyone happy International Biodiversity Week, and tomorrow is Happy International Biodiversity Day. So yeah, it is our duty to take care of our environment, our nature, our wildlife. So starting with a small clip, which I got it from Nature in Focus, which is a red panda twittering call, which is, I think, like you enjoyed a lot to heard about this call. So yeah, we all know red panda is elusive and mysterious species in the eastern Himalayan landscape. So why they are mysterious in nature? So let's come to the point. Yeah. So red panda is only living representative in Ailuridae family. So yeah, so long back, so red panda and the giant panda, like they have some it was a confusion between of these two pandas. So which is the giant one and the red panda one. So I have shared one study which is reveals the comparative genomic reveals convergent evolution between giant panda and red panda by Hu et al. 2016. This is very recent study. So earlier it was people like they're confused with the giant panda and they used to thought that is comes under the Uricidae family, but no. So the current study, the comparative genomic study, which completely shown a different results, which red panda it's belongs to a single monotypic family, which is the Ailuridae family, and it is only the representative species in that particular family. And I'm sharing my screen here. You can see the species red panda is here. So, and recent one of the studies which reveals that red panda earlier it was like two different subspecies. One is Ailurus fulgens, it is, and another one is Ailurus fulgens steini. So, when now currently studies show that it is a completely two different species. Which one? The first one, which is Ailurus fulgens, is comes under the Himalayan red panda, and another one is a Chinese red panda. That Himalayan red panda is like completely. Distributed in the the whole patches of Western Himalayan landscape, which is the starting from Nepal, India, Bhutan, China, and Myanmar. But the single species, which is Ailurus fulgenstini, which is the only isolated into the China region. My second slide is to like their habitat and diet specialist. So I also mentioned one paper, which is one publication, which is Habitat Requirements of Himalayan Red Panda and Threat Analysis in Jigme Dorje National Park, Bhutan, by Denduk et al. 2020. That paper actually reveals like this species, like the red panda, is a habitat specialist because they preferred a certain habitat. Means they preferred only temperate forest, temperate broadleaf or temperate like mixed conifer temperate forest, or the subalpine forest. So they're only that particular region they preferred to stay in the particular forest, and with some of the criteria, like the altitude, which the preferred altitude is like 2500 to 4000-meter altitude. And some they are diet specialists because, as we all know, red panda belongs to the carnivora, but still they are herbivorous in nature, because most of the diet is like the bamboo, which is Arundinaria species, which Arundinaria malin and uh, Arundinaria malin and Arundinaria aristrata and the Dendrocolumba strictus. These three species used to eat red pandas. And some of this, they have slow preference aspects. They have the certain aspects they preferred, and also the vegetation type as well, because they used to stay in particularly some specific trees. So like the oak tree, the specifically the oak trees, the quaker species, and some rhododendron species. So they used to prefer such particular habitat or particular diet for their lifestyle. So that is why they are habitat and diet specialists. Coming to the next slide, which is indicator species. So red panda is also an indicator species. So the next paper is the publication, the selection of red panda as an indicator species in Singalila National Park, Roca et al. 2019. Author reveals that like they categorized into two different categories. The first category, the positive indicating category was like the higher chances of red panda occurrence, and the low chances of the pressures, anthropogenic pressures or natural impacts, whatever. So that indicates like that indicates positively, like that indicates a good forest patches. And the negative is like the lowest chances red panda occurrence and the highest pressure in that forest, that indicates the like disturbed forest. So likewise, the author specified as an indicator species in their particular paper. So yeah, so all these causes actually leads to be endangered species ultimately, because they are very sensitive species, shy species at their habitat. So ultimately, red panda is categorized under the threatened species by IUCN Red List. So it is categorized as an endangered species and like appendix 1 species in sites as well. So I have mentioned there some assessment reports which we can see, like in 1988 there were no data as such, so that they were as like insufficiently known category. And after that, in 1994, we can see they are categorized as a vulnerable species, and followed by 1996 they're categorized again the endangered species. Again 2008, the population was increasing and it categorized in the vulnerable category, but unfortunately in 2015 it is again listed as an endangered species in IUCN Red List. So the estimation, total estimation is 10,000 individual in the wild, but the thing is it is decreasing in their population trend. So yeah, so this global biodiversity phase is basically like they're more into the weird species, weird and wonderful species. So I believe red panda is belong to this particular category. Like they're really weird and really wonderful species. So wherever they are in the habitat, and they itself are weird and wonderful. So I have mentioned just 2 3 points, which is there. I already discussed. They are vegetarian carnivore, means they're carnivora, but they are vegetarian in nature, means herbivores in nature. So they used to eat like Arundariya species, two of Arundarias and another one is Dendrocoloma strictors. Uh, Almost 81.7% they eat bamboo. So by Panthi et al. 2012. And apart from that, there are a couple of species like 10 species as I've mentioned there. The fruits and leaves they're also eat sometimes, like I have mentioned all these names there also. So yeah, especially they eat in summer, like some of the species is Rosa sericera, another one is rubus species, and in post monsoon time they used to eat the sorbus cuspidata, the fruits of sorbus tree, which is the sorbus cuspidata, the acnidea colosa, and some of the leaves of rhododendron arboreum and Aconigulum mole. So yeah, there are a couple of even research papers as shown certain species in 1990. Pradhan et al. Declared some of the species name, which is Acer sp, uh, Berberis sp, and some of the lichen species they used to eat. So there are a couple of other tree leaves or fruits in their food, in their diet placed. The next is the pseudothumb. So they have their own enlarged modified wrist bone, which helps in their locomotion. So as we all know, red panda is an arboreal species. They used to prefer trees for resting, for roosting, and for breeding purposes. So this pseudothumb helped for the locomotion on many purposes. As you can see in the picture, which is the camouflage, the point is the creature of camouflage, and you can see already red panda and its camouflaging nature. As we can see, the all this, like it is like their reddish coat and their face marks is almost camouflaged with the red brown mosses. So yeah, it is really like they're like it is really camouflaged with their habitat, so that it is really hard to find once you go for the survey. It is really hard to find in the nature, in the wild, and they usually prefer the top branches of the trees. So it's really hard, as they are very shy, camouflaged in nature. So it's really hard to find in the wild. So yeah, so this is the global distributions of red panda. It in 5 different countries. You can see in the points here. So the countries are the Nepal, India, Bhutan, China, and Myanmar. And in India, there are 4 different states which holds red panda as habitat. The starting from Arunachal Pradesh holds the most of this habitat, followed by Sikkim, Upper West Bengal, and some part of Meghalaya. So some of the studies, which like one recent research by Kaki et al. 2020. So they highlights many different papers. Actually, this is a review paper by Kaki et al. And they reviewed at least 193 papers, and some informations that some interesting information came out here. So you can see then the first graph. From the you can see from 1827 to 2020. So you can see the graph. So the graph was the earlier stage. The graph was very low, and it day by day it comes higher. That means the article that means the number of article is generating. So that means the research is like many publishing the paper, like there is couple of papers like is generating. That means the research, the number of research is increasing. So it's a good sign. So because it's a rare species, it's a elusive species, so always red panda monitoring is needed for their conservation. In the second graph, we can see the chart where the the number of articles, like in the black denotes in the wild and the gray denotes in the captivity. So earlier it was to like in captive study only, but nowadays we can see in 2010-20 papers the wild study is increasing. So that is a good sign for red pandas. As we know, that's very good sign for red pandas, and it is quite on peak. So more studies, more publication, that means that is a that is a good sign for red panda conservation. Yeah, but the thing is, the latest paper by Gladson et al. 2022 is 60% of the red panda habitat lies outside this protected area. So in the last slide, what we mentioned, that is a wild. That wild denotes only basically only the protected areas, but where the non-protected sites, because red panda is like distributed in protected and non-protected areas both. So even the Gladson et al. Study also highlights 60% protect like 60% red panda habitat lied outside of this protected area in Sikkim. This is for Sikkim only. So where I'm recently studying. So yeah, these papers are really interesting papers, but they only studied in protected area network. So very less studies have been done so far in Sikkim in non-protected area, but still a couple of studies are recently going on. Like recently, couple of studies are highlighting, and the major thing is why I'm choosing the particular thing, just because there are very less studies like there are very less studies in non-protected habitats in Sikkim. So my H project is to enhance the protection of existing habitat both in protected habitat like protected land and non-protected land of red pandas in Sikkim. So in my study, I covered 7 protected area and 16 non-protected areas. And this sky blue is denotes the protected lands, the 7 protected lands, and this green area, light green area, denotes the non-protected sites. So interestingly, the presence was confirmed in 6 protected areas and 7 non-protected areas in Sikkim. So that is very interesting outcomes actually. So what we were do like what we have done so far, we looking for the sign, vegetation structure, threats in respective protected and non-protected site. So we all know protected area is like governed by Department of Forest and Environment, but the non-protected area is completely human dominated. So the structure, the structure of vegetations, the number of threads and the kind of threads is completely different in both protected and non-protected areas. So that I'm actually looking for. I'm looking for to understand the potential suitable habitat of the and the major important attributes which actually governs to the red panda's presence in protected lands and non-protected lands, and how it is differs in two different distinctive sites, because it actually differs because human dominated areas are like more into interaction, like species and human interactions. So usually, and in the protected lands, uh, like locals cannot like there are many restrictions and the locals are not entering to the forest easily. So only there are certain rules, regulations is present in protected in non-protected areas or the reserve forest areas in Sikkim, but not like the protected land. So there are many differences. I can see the many differences in my study. So I have collected this sign surveys, like some direct sighting of red panda, pellets of red panda, pug marks of red panda, feeding signs of red panda, and also the other animal signs and livestock evidences, human interactions, and any other threats or natural calamities. So for vegetation structures, there are differs. Actually, there are differs in both protected and non-protected. So I have surveyed the whole protected and non-protected areas to understand the overall vegetations and what is the dominant trees in that particular landscape. The canopy, even the roosting trees. Like I have counted the roosting trees, named it, and I have noted the probable sites in a single tree, or like I have noted the probable roosting tree sites in a single tree. So I have noted even the geographical feature in protected and non-protected both. So the next slide is actually, so we have found red panda evidences from 4 different districts. That is very like that is really interesting. So we have covered all 4 districts. We have found 6 different protected areas and 7 different non-protected areas. And the main interesting point is the frequent sighting is in between the 2000, 2800 to 3700 meter. So the important observation is, so the observation is actually it's based on our survey, like in protected, non-protected both. So I tried to cover all these certain points. So which is the North Sikkim is highly dense red panda. Like North Sikkim has a highly dense red panda habitat, followed by the west, east, and southern parts of Sikkim in respect to both protected and non-protected land. And the highest elevation was which we found in the protected, that is in Singba rhododendron sanctuary, was 3900-meter altitude, and the lowest elevation was which we found from Yali reserve forest, which is non-protected area, and which was I think 2500 meter, sorry, 400 meter. So evidence was recorded mostly 3 different forests, which is temperate broadleaf forest, mixed conifer temperate forest, and the alpine forest. So the most of the land, basically for the in case of non-protected areas, the temperate broadleaf forest covers the most area. So that is why temperate broadleaf forest. So we have recorded the evidences mostly from the temperate broadleaf forest, followed by this mixed conifer and subalpine forest. So we have recorded 90% present signs within the 100-meter water distance, both in protected and non-protected land. So I already mentioned there are like the threats are completely like high in the non-protected areas because the human interference is too high in non-protected areas. So starting from logging, uh, and cutting the trees, livestock movements, infrastructures, human presence. So all these affects the effects on this human dominated red panda site, which is mainly non-protected areas. And the variables such as the forest type, bamboo cover, disturbance, nearer settlement are the relevant factors are like here comparing to pay and non-pay suitability for it, because this forest type uh, in 2 cases are completely different, because like we cannot describe protected and non-protected in a similar frame. So yeah, even bamboo cover is also distinctive because most of the like threats are present in non-protected site. So it differs in some ways. And quackers and rhododendron species are highly utilized by red pandas. That is also like by Roca et al. 2021, very recent paper. But our observation comes up with some different site-specific information that actually varies on forest type, dominant tree species, even particular tree species which available in that particular area. Like I'm going to tell that there is one particular tree species which I have found. This is very new. Actually, the species name is Osmanthus cervis, which the common name is Sillinge, and this is maybe this is a completely new. I don't even found from the another paper as well. So yeah, so I have found this particular tree in the western part of Sikkim, western part and the northern part of Sikkim. Sorry, like yeah, western and northern part of Sikkim. So yes, so it depends on site as well, and particular tree which is found in the particular landscape, even the seasons as well, because yeah, sometimes we can say the red panda is found in sorbus tree because of this sorbus fruit. So in the month of like October, November, they used to like we used to found red panda in sorbus tree just for the sorbus fruit. So it depends on sites, seasons, tree, like the species, like up to species, everything. So far, many like I not I actually, we are trying to cover many training programs, sensitization programs. Me and my team members, like my all interns, my assistants, my associates, they are really helping me a lot, because as an independent researcher, it's not possible to cover up all these things, to wrap up all these things. They're helping me. Even the Department of Forest and Environment, Sikkim, they are also helping me a lot. So this some of the picture I'm sharing with you. These are the forest official trainings before starting the field survey, because they helped us during the field survey. So next slide is to raising some awareness. So we are trying to raise awareness with the students, local school student, college students in Sikkim. Apart from that, some other college students from outside of Sikkim as well. So we already sensitized local people as well, like from different part of Sikkim, like wherever the red panda prior areas are there. So we went there and we sensitized locals, we talked with them, we understand their perceptions of on this particular animal. So that was really interesting during the survey. Even that is actually, this picture shows an art competition. Actually it was during the COVID situation, so we all are in home, so we couldn't do any survey that time. So we are busy with social media page. So some interesting, even yes, some of the very little students, they are really interested on red pandas. So we made one art competitions. We like arranged one art competitions on our pages, so they're really interesting. So I have shared these pictures with you. So yeah, so coming to the next one. So I like, we believe the sustainable red panda ecotourisms. So I hope you enjoy this video. This video is like captured by one of my project associate, Mr. Shora Mandal. So he is also associated with us. He also helped me a lot during the project time. So yes, so I believe there's some sustainable red panda ecotourism, which actually like an essential tool to conserve the species, because like in that particular area, like wherever we find red pandas, these all areas are very remote. So people are majorly like depends on the forest products. So if like certain like if we can change like we can alter their livelihoods from forest to any certain career, or like certain career is like the tourism. So I think that would be a like big help to the wildlife conservation or red panda conservation in future. So the list, not the last, is the final slide is, so what the milestone we achieved so far. So we have identified the hotspots in protected and non-protected lands. So we identified the species habitat associations in particular protected site, non-protected site, which actually help us in our further research. Uh, Once we finish it, we definitely like build a different project, which like this project actually help us to conquer the new projects. So yeah, we have identified different bamboo species in that particular red panda habitat. We prioritize the habitat, and we did research there. We did some conservation awareness program over these remote areas. So yeah, and then last one, that we already trained local community, like the local peoples there. We sensitize the local students, youth in Sikkim. So yeah, this all we have done so far with this particular ZSLH project. And the last note is, like, we are actually still in the final stage of our analysis and drafting. So yeah, hopefully we bring some like good results that actually help us for the conservation, especially the conservation management plan in Sikkim, especially in the non-protected areas. So I would like to thank you all, like whoever joining me. And especially I like to thank Global Biofares. I like to thank Joe and all the supporting partners, my field assistant, interns, all associate, my professor, my advisors, my teammates, ZSL, Nat Geo Society, WI, Forest Department and Environment Department, Sikkim, and all the associate departments. Thank you so much. Hope you like it.
All right. Moumita, thank you so much. That was a great presentation. I loved the video clips, and I love to see all the community engagement that you had with the program as well. I think that's so important. So we have time for a question or two here. And the first one is, the red pandas, are they elusive? Are they very difficult to spot in the wild?
Yes, it's very difficult to spot. I already mentioned in my slide. Actually, they're very shy and they're very inactive. So, and especially what we can do is, like once I went into the survey, so sometimes we have to climb up the tree to just to get the secondary evidences, but because primary evidences is it's a bit difficult for anybody.
All right. And then
Yeah.
your research, you kind of mentioned where you are and what you've accomplished so far. What's your next goal?
So yeah, so actually, I worked with ZSL and I covered almost the distribution studies and protected, non-protected lands. I really want to do some seasonal occupancy. Like I want to know more about the species, but like what like does seasonal variation can affect their distributions. So yeah, like we I really want to pursue some more works. Even I'm also doing my PhD as well. So yeah, even it is also in the end of the stage. So I'm going to submit maybe next year.
All right. Exciting times. Good luck with the rest of your PhD. Thank you for
Thank you so
sharing the
much.
incredible work that you're doing in Sikkim with us with the red panda. I love that first picture on your first slide, the red panda kind of just staring into the camera. I think that was such a powerful image. So thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for sharing your research and starting our day 2, a great spot to start in India.
Thank you so much, Jay. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, yeah. Wish you all the best for the other speaks.